What's up, guys? This is a video I was not expecting to ever make. This is my Hopkins and Allen Bulldog, a pistol made in the 1890s, chambered in .38 Smith & Wesson. Not special, .38 Smith & Wesson. I was under the impression that with this gun, you had to shoot black powder through it. Trying to find .38 Smith & Wesson loaded with black powder is difficult. I really have not found any. Well, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he said that the new production .38 Smith & Wesson are loaded pretty anemically, so you could safely shoot it through this pistol. Now, I still was hesitant. But the first time I shot this gun, it was in a vise. We had a string and a stick through the trigger guard, and we pulled the trigger 6 times to see if there was any deformation of the cylinder, any damage to the casings, and the gun just fired. Actually, the people watching us do this were disappointed that the gun didn't blow up. They were crowding around to watch it blow up, and they were disappointed. But the gun fired. So I put the grips back on because these grips are pretty immaculate. The gun, like the nickel plating is flaky, it looks terrible, but the grips look perfect. So when I put it in the vise, I took those grips off. Well, I put them back on and I held it. This is the part of the video where the disclaimer is going to come up. I don't recommend you ever do that. If there's ever a pistol that you think is questionable, just have a gunsmith check it out. You don't want to take that chance. But I took that chance. Alright, so it seemed to work fine on the bench. We tried each one of the cylinders, so now I'm going to do it holding it. Did I just miscount? I think I just miscounted.
That's 5. You said it's a 5-shot gun, right?
Yeah.
That was 5.
Okay. Make sure it fired them all. Yeah, the brass looks fine, and as you can see, I can stick my fingernail in there and pull them out, so I don't think there's any danger with this gun. I still don't recommend doing this.
And you know, that actually has a little bit of snap to it for such an anemic round. Being a small gun, I'm not saying it's unpleasant recoil, but a little more than you would actually think.
I shot almost 100 rounds out of it without a single failure. The only reason I didn't get to 100 was Keith, my buddy that's from Lude 69. He had a Derringer and he shot about 10 rounds. It was a 2-shot Derringer. That's the only reason why this thing didn't actually hit 100 rounds. It ran flawlessly. Actually, the first time I picked it up, that was something I noticed, is the lockup was so perfect. It was strong, like there's not a lot of play. And then the double action was spot on. So the timing on this gun is perfect. And it's soaking in oil because when I shot it, it started to rain and I left it in the vise in the rain to save my camera and my other guns. So I soaked it down to make sure it doesn't rust, because once I shot it, I realized this thing is actually a lot of fun to shoot. So sorry guys about the wind. I guess I can bring this thing back out again if I find ammo. But we're going to aim. But yeah, there they are. Again, no rifling. But they aren't tumbling is the thing. So they're not hitting sideways. Huh. I did better. Granted, I was aiming like underneath the target quite a ways. It's kind of nice to have this little pistol. And the trigger is not terrible. I've felt way worse. It's kind of fun. It's small, it's light. And if you ever shot .38 Smith & Wesson, you'll know that it's just kind of a poof. And if you have a gun like the Webley, it's fun to shoot, but not much recoil. With this gun, it's light enough that you actually felt like you were shooting something, which was fun. It had a little bit of a movement. And even though that this gun doesn't appear to have rifling, we were getting some accuracy out of it. Weirdly enough, I had to aim like a foot under the target to hit it. That took a little while to figure out. Once I realized I had to aim at the board underneath the target to hit it, then I was actually on pretty... My brain just stopped working there. I was pretty consistent on hitting that target once I figured out where to aim with it. Now to load this pistol, there's a loading gate right here that you open up, and then you drop the bullets into the chamber. Then you close this up, and the cylinder does just spin freely until you cock the hammer or start pulling the trigger. Then it locks. But until then, it just spins freely. Now how you're supposed to take this gun apart is there's a lever right here and you pull out the rod, but it's seized. I can't get that out of there, so so that's another reason why I have it soaking in oil, was to maybe get it unlodged, but I have not been successful so far. But when I took it out of the vise, I should mention, I checked each one of the chambers. I checked the brass. I was very thorough. I did not see any damage anywhere. That's why I felt secure enough to actually hold it. And once I did, oh, this thing was fun. And the cartridges just kind of, once you open it up, you have to line it up perfectly. And that was an issue I didn't notice at first, because I'd be like, oh, some of these don't want to come out. Well, it's because I had it just slightly too far one direction or the other, and it was hitting right in here. So once you have it lined up perfectly, you can just put your fingernail in it and pull them out. Or you can get yourself a tactical stick you find on the ground and just push them out. So if you have one of these, probably don't shoot it, but get yourself a tactical stick. But it's fun to shoot, honestly. Again, I don't know if I'd recommend you go out and do that, but I'm glad I did on this gun. But I still don't recommend you do that. Take it to a gunsmith. But I want to shoot this thing again. And honestly, I think this gun almost merits being refinished. The nickel plating is kind of flaking off. It would be kind of cool to replate it. But then again, it has its own character like this. It's an unassuming gun. You just think it's, you know, you just think it's an old piece of crap that can't hit anything. And then you shoot it and you're like, wow, this is actually kind of cool. I don't know. Should I leave it with the character it has, or should I try my hand at plating, nickel plating, and just take off the original and put on a new one? Because these guns aren't worth a lot of money. What do you guys think?
So we're going to do a tactical unload. How fast can we fire a how many year old?
Just over 100-year-old gun.
100-year-old gun. Doop, 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 doop. Do you know there's numbers on the cylinder?
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know what that means, but yeah, there are numbers on it.
I've never seen that before. 8. Well, it's a 6 or a 9. It's a 6 or a 9 there, and a 4. Maybe it's the serial numbers.
I don't know. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I think this gun is awesome. And now it's not just something on display that I think is just a cheap junk gun. Now I know it's a cheap gun that actually works pretty well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. I'll be doing something else cool and potentially foolish in the future.